You guys, I made this top and I recorded the steps along the way, so I put them together for a tutorial video, but I'm so new to crocheting and I'm ADD as heck, I would have no reason to be making tutorials. Maybe I'll learn something, maybe I'll teach you how to make this top, or maybe I can tell you that I looked it up on YouTube how to make skull granny squares, how to make cups, and how to do scalloped edging. And I came up with this on my own. I hope you like this. I hope you learned something. I made that. I'm so proud of myself. And if you make something similar, if you have any tips, anything at all, I would love to hear from you. So let me know in the comments what you think. We start by making the skull. So we've got our yarn here. I'm using a 5mm hook and 4-weight or worsted weight yarn. Pinch this string between your pointer finger and your thumb. Wrap it up over to your middle finger, under those 2 fingers, back over here and pinch it with your ring finger and middle finger, so you have this X right here. Take your hook, go under this yarn, pull that yarn through, turn your hook, so you'll have this little yarn looped around your hook, okay? And then you are going to go under, grab that yarn again, and pull it through that loop. And then once you do that, you can let it go. Set up your hand, oop, almost knocked my drink over. Set up your hand, grab your yarn. You have your ring here, and you are going to chain 1. And then you are going to do 9 double crochets through this ring. And make sure you go, when you're doing your stitches, make sure you go over both of those yarns, the tail and the loop here. So 9 double crochets. This was the hardest part for me. I had to start over so many times. I lost count how many times I started over. I gave up day after day, but kept trying the next day because I just really wanted it. If you really want it, you'll get it. If I'm not a good teacher, if what I'm explaining or showing doesn't make sense, don't give up. Find another teacher. There are so many tutorials for these skulls on YouTube. For any stitch, anything that you're trying to learn. If there's multiple tutorials, check out other tutorials. And then different teachers, I am not a teacher. But anyways, different videos could teach you different things. You could learn something from all of them. When I was learning single crochet and double crochet, I went through so many different tutorials from so many different people. And the same person didn't teach me those different stitches. I learned from different people. And some people just explain it better, what makes sense to me. I lost count. So we are not going to count that first chain that we did. This is our first stitch here. So that those first 2 little loops that we made don't count. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. All right, this is 9. And then you can pull all of these so that they're a little tighter on this loop. Don't tighten the loop though yet. You are going to, after you did your 9th double crochet, chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, oh no, 4, 5, And then I use my finger to hold this in place because this will start to spin everywhere. So I just hold it in place, and I'm going to do another double crochet into this loop here. So with my finger holding that there, yarn over through the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over and through 2. See how that's kind of spinning around? That confused me really bad at first. So you can just move it back down. There should be 2 loops on here now with that chain being over here. Yarn over, pull through 2. So here is the first eye. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Another double crochet through that loop. And then chain 5 again. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was the eye, this is the nose, and then here's the other eye. So now, after you chain 5, you can pull this short string here and tighten this all together. I made the mistake of pulling way too hard and I ripped it off. So you want to close up that hole, but don't pull so hard that you rip your yarn because it can come unraveled. Alright, so now we've got that tightened up. Don't need that anymore. We've got our chain 5 here, and we stick it through. We're going to do a slip stitch into this first stitch that we did. So through there, pull the yarn through there, pull the yarn through there, and then we're gonna chain 1, single crochet through each of these stitches all the way across the top of the head. See our skull forming? So we're gonna single crochet all through the top. So now that we are to the first eye, you are going to single crochet 6 through the eye, not through the chains, not through there. We're gonna go through that big hole there 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, that's a double crochet. Single crochet. 5, 6. Okay, and now that we are to the nose, if your hole opens up, that's okay. When we tuck in our yarn later, it'll hold it in. So now that we are to the nose, what is next? Let's see. So now we're gonna slip stitch. So put your hook through the nose, pull that yarn through, and then pull it through there, and then chain 2. 1, 2, and now we're gonna do 2 double crochet into that same nose hole. One, 2, and then to make it opposite like we did on this side, we're going to chain 2 from here. 1, 2, and then slip stitch again through the nose hole. Okay, and now we're back to the other eye. the same thing as you did on the other side, 6 single crochets through the eye, not through the yarn, through the hole. 1, 2, 3, 6. And that is our skull. To finish it off, you're just gonna go into the first stitch and just do a slip stitch and a chain 1. Slip stitch, chain 1. You can snip off the end of your string, pull it through, and we have got our skull. And just play with it and get all those stitches kind of moved around wherever they need to be to get it to look its shape. So now it's time to make the square. So you're just gonna start like you would start anything else by making your slip knot onto your crochet hook. And now you are going to double crochet, not into this stitch where the knot is, but the one directly in front. That's where we're gonna start. So I hold this yarn here in place, have my project ready. Hold your yarn onto your crochet hook, and then you are just gonna double crochet into that first stitch. So you've got your new color here, hold it in place on your hook, yarn over through that first stitch, pull it through, pull through 2, pull through 2. So there's your first double crochet on there, and this is gonna be the first row in the corner here. So we're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, and now 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 3 in the next 3 stitches you're going to do half double crochet. So that's yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull it through all 3, and that is a half double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then through all 3. 1 more. Okay, we did our 3 half double crochet. Now in the next one, we're gonna do 1 more double crochet. And that's the top row. We're gonna go into the next stitch and do 2 double crochet in that same stitch. One, 2, and then chain 3, and then 2 more double crochet in the same stitch. One, 2. So this is our top row, and it should have 9 stitches, not including these chain corners. 1, so this would be the first stitch because there's 1, 2, 3 chains right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. is how many stitches you should have on the top. Okay, we've done our 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet. So now we're on the other side. Into the next stitch, you're going to do 1 double crochet. And then in the next 4, we're going to do 4 half double crochet. One. 2. 3. 4. Okay, and then in the next one we're going to do the corner again. So 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet, all in this one stitch. One. All right, and now make sure you have 9 on this side too. So you have your 1, 2, 3 chains, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches. So now we're on the bottom. We're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And now we are at the bottom of the mouth. So we have 2 stitches right there. We're going to do 1 single crochet through this first stitch. One single crochet through this next stitch. And then we have our chains here. We're just gonna crochet a single crochet through this chain. Gotta kind of finesse your hook through it. There we go. And then we're back down under this eye over here. So 1 double crochet into that next stitch. And next is our corner. So 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet in this next stitch. All right. Make sure you have 9 across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're on the other side. We're just gonna do the opposite that we did on this side. So 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches. going to do a double crochet into this next stitch. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, a double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do one more double crochet into that same first stitch that we started with. And then we are going to slip stitch into this first stitch here. All right, so one more double crochet into the starting stitch. And then slip stitch into that first stitch that we made, our standing double crochet. And then we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're just double crocheting all the way around, and the corners will be the same. So you're going to double crochet all down here, 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet all the way down here, and repeat. And if it's kind of hard to see up here where your first stitch is, count backwards. Find your first stitch from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here is where I need to start double crocheting into. Oops. That first one is just a little tricky because we have that knot right there in the way. And then when you get to the corner, don't forget this last little stitch before you get to the corner. And you should have 9 stitches on this side so far. Not including those 2 chains that we did. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're at the corner, 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet through this hole. You've got your first little edge here. Same thing here, just double crochet all the way across. And then all the corners will be the same, 2 double crochet, 3 chain, 2 double crochet. And I will check back in with you when I get to the end. Now let's get these ends weaved in. You're gonna need a tapestry needle, and then you just kind of just see where it's at and just weave it in. So I'll pull it through here. So how I do this is I put it in one way, back one way, and then back one way. So there's like 3. And that's how it feels the most secure to me. All right, so I put it through that way. And then when I go back, make sure you skip over the last spot where it came out. That way it doesn't just go right back through. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way of doing this. There's probably neater ways to do it, but this is how I figured out doing it. And you can't really see it. I mean, I can see it because I know it's there, but if someone else is looking, they're not gonna be able to be like, oh, that's where all the yarn is tucked in at. Okay, and so you will kind of pull it tight so that it comes out from where you've been weaving. Cut it close to the project. And then when you straighten it back out, it just kind of disappears. Giving credit where credit is due. I learned this from B Jax here on YouTube. Here's the sizing that she recommends. It's the sizing that I found works for me. And that is how I am gonna start my cup. So for me personally, I'm gonna work on the small size here. So I'm gonna need to chain 13. So just chain however much you need for the size that you are wanting to make. So have your slip knot on your hook. Oh my goodness. Ah, I just tied a real knot. Hold on. So you'll tie a slip knot on your hook. And then just chain to the size that you're wanting to make. So like I said, I'm doing a small, so I'm going to chain 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. And so if you're not sure what size you need to make, the rough way to estimate what size you'll need, chain the amount that you think you'll need. I chained 13, and it should be from the middle of your bust to under your bust. And that is your starting, how long your starting chain needs to be. So now you've got your chain, no matter how long it is, you are going to single crochet into the first stitch here. So put your hook through that first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're gonna do that all the way down every single chain until you get to the last chain. Now we're at this last chain here, and we have this little knot in the way. We need to put 3 single crochet in this one chain. And so I just kind of like to make sure that 2 go on one side and 1 go on the other side of this knot. And that kind of just helps center it and keep it a little cleaner. So we're going to do 3 single crochet in that last stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And so now in that second stitch in the middle, highly recommend that you put a stitch marker. Okay, and now you're just going to do the same thing down this other side. Just single crochet in every single one of these stitches. Down here, for me, it gets a little bit confusing. I might need one more there, but I can't really tell. So how I find out is I'm just gonna count. Starting with this other side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches. So, not including this middle stitch, I should have 12 on this side too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I do need to get one more stitch in there. And that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I'm definitely still learning. All right, so now I have 12 on each side. You should have one less amount of stitches on each side as the starting chain. So I had 13 chain, now I have 12 stitches on each side. Okay, and so now once you're at the end of that, you're gonna chain 1, turn your work, and then you're gonna single crochet into every single stitch here and 3 at the top. And that is what this whole cup is just through every stitch there, 3 at the top, and then all the way down, single crochet. And then you're just gonna chain 1, turn your work, and go all the way back, chain 1, turn your work, go all the way back, until it's as big as you want it. And also keep in mind, with this project, I am gonna be adding another layer around the outside. So you might want to make it a little bit smaller than your actual cup size. Like for example, how I have this outside layer on this. So the cup is smaller than my actual cup size because I did add more rows on here. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so once you're at that top stitch, you can remove that stitch marker, put 3 single crochet in that one stitch, and put your stitch marker back into that middle of the 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3. And now I've got this tail here. You can either weave it in at the end when you're done, or you can just kind of have it in, like on top of these stitches as you are crocheting down here to weave it as you go. So let's see if I can explain that a little bit better. All right, so I've got this first stitch here. It's coming out of that one, so I can't really show you on this one. All right, and so you're just gonna go under your stitch and that loose yarn there. And just make sure it stays in between your stitches. It's totally optional. If this is in your way and makes it confusing, you can just keep it out of the way and just cut it or weave it and cut it at the end. Just like we did on the granny squares. Okay, so that looks pretty even, but again, because I'm new, still not entirely confident at what I'm looking at, I'm just gonna go back and count and make sure I have the same amount of stitches on each side. And because we're doing 3 in the middle, every time it should increase by 1. Chain 1, turn your work, and same thing all the way back again. So for my top, I decided to go with having 21 stitches on each side. And so once you've gotten to the last stitch, you're just gonna chain one. And my child stole my scissors, so you're gonna cut this and pull it through. And then you are just gonna make 2 of these. Earlier I had pinned these together just to give myself a little visual of what I've got going on so far. I have made 5 squares, and I'm thinking I'm gonna crochet a little bit more to give it a little more length so that there's not so much of my back left. That way it'll be closer together to stitch it together without making more granny squares, because I don't feel like it. So next I will be connecting the squares together, and then we will connect the cups to the squares, and then we will be outlining the whole thing and making the straps along the way. So now I'm going to show you how to connect the squares together. There's multiple ways to connect them together. If you want to look up just how to join granny squares, there's a lot of different ways, and you can just go and pick the one that looks the best to you. It really doesn't matter. This way leaves like a seam on this side, which might be kind of uncomfortable to some people that don't like textures, maybe. But for me personally, it won't bother me. Just a quick little top that I'm making and decided to record a tutorial. So decide which side you want to be the front and which you want to be the back. There's typically one side that looks a little nicer than the other. You're gonna wanna face the front side to the front side. So you have the back here and the back here. Standing single crochet through the 2 corner spaces. Holding this loop in place. Okay, and then starting at the first stitch here and the first stitch here, how it is a V, we're just gonna single crochet through the inside part of the stitch. So through here on this one, and through here on this one. And just single crochet through that, through the inside. Single crochet. And you're just going to do that all the way down. When you get to the part where the knot is, for me the stitches get kind of confusing to see, so I just count backwards to see where I'm at. 1, 2, 3. I'm in the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna kind of go in front of this knot here, just however I can, and just single crochet through that. And then just keep checking, making sure the stitches are still lining up. Okay, we've made it to the last stitch. Now we're just gonna single crochet into the chain spaces. chain 1, cut the yarn, pull it through, and there we go. So now I want to add a row of black around each of the cups. So I'm going to start by doing a single crochet row, and starting in this first stitch I'm going to do a standing single crochet. I'm going to, oh my gosh, slip stitch into this first stitch, chain 1, and then single crochet into that same stitch, and single crochet all the way down, and do 3 single crochet at the top all the way down. Once you're at the end, you are going to chain 1, and now we are going to do the scalloped edging and the strap. So for the scalloped edging, 1, 2, you're going to double crochet 5 into this one. And to double crochet, you're going to yarn over, the hook through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Do that 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Black is kind of hard to see. Okay, and then you're going to skip the next 2 and slip stitch into the 3rd. And then skip the next 2 and 5 double crochet. And you're just going to do that pattern all the way to the top of the cup. 5 double crochet, skip 2, slip stitch. slip stitch into that top stitch. And now here's where it gets fun. You're gonna chain 80. 1, 2, 80. Now once you've got to the end, you are going to start single crocheting in the second chain from the hook all the way back down. All right, now that we are back at the bottom, we are going to slip stitch into that same stitch that we started from. And because of the amount of stitches that I had, where I ended up with my pattern was right next to the slip stitch. So I'm just gonna mirror that. So if you already skipped 2, then you can skip 2. But if you only went to the next one on this side like I did, then go to the next one on this side as well. I really hope that makes sense. So now 5 double crochet. And then you can continue to skip 2, slip stitch, skip 2, 5 double crochet, skip 2, slip stitch, skip 2, 5 double crochet, all the way down. Once you get to the end, you're going to make sure the last one that you do is a slip stitch, and then chain 1, cut the yarn, pull it through, and these will need to be woven in. The next step now, which I probably actually should have done already, is attaching the cups to the top. That probably should have been done before the trim, because now I'm realizing we could have done all of this in one go, but we're still learning. I'll make more tutorials later when I teach myself first, I guess. Yeah, we're all learning here. It's all good. So now what I think I'm gonna do, because I don't think I want them that close together because of my breast shape. So I'm gonna go kind of look in the mirror, hold it up to myself, kind of see where exactly I want the cups placed. Decided where I want my cups placed on the squares, and also made sure I have it all facing the direction that I want, making sure all the front is facing the front. So to attach the cups, of course you're gonna do one at a time. Make sure you fold it down so that the front and the front are facing each other. And we are gonna single crochet across here. And like I mentioned earlier, there's not a clear place to stitch here, so just make sure you stitch through every one of these stitches on the square. So we are going to do a slip knot on the crochet hook and do a standing single crochet in the corner of the cup and the stitch that you have marked for where you want to attach your cup. Get it out of there. You're just gonna do a standing single crochet. I'm gonna pull that through. Yarn over, pull through. And if you get to the chain space, single crochet all the way through the chain space, not the individual yarn of the chain. And that chain space should be 2 stitches. That's your last one. Chain 1, cut your yarn, pull it through, and repeat that same exact step for the other side. So we've got all the pieces attached now. Now I'm going to double crochet onto the ends of these to make it more wide. So I'm gonna start by double crocheting, I don't know, I'm just gonna double crochet. So you're gonna start with a standing double crochet in these chain spaces, and then double crochet in each stitch. There will be 2 in the chain stitch, so 2 in the chain spaces. So 2 double crochet, and then double crochet through each stitch, and then 2 through here. And as I go, I'm gonna crochet over this tail so that I don't have to weave it in later, but you can also weave it in later if that's easier for you. 1 more double crochet in that chain space. And now you're gonna start crocheting in each chain across here. Chain 1, flip the work over, and then double crochet in every stitch back, chain 1, turn it over, double crochet all the way back, back, back until it's as long as you want it. So because I attached the cubs last, I'm going to make the extra step to single crochet black across here. Just going to do a standing single crochet. One. And now I'm going to start in this corner from the back and single crochet all the way around the entire project back to this corner here.
that room. I don't know where my trash can went. Maybe you don't need a trash can.
How do you lose a trash can?
I just don't see how you throw a few water bottles on the floor and don't think that that's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't even see why he has water bottles when he has a fucking plastic, like, permanent water bottle.
Mm-hmm.